Part of Micah's senior year in school is that he's part of this work-based learning program where he gets to get out early from school and go to work, so he gets to come with me in the afternoons for a while. And we went and checked out this house, and it was supposed to be a quick little cut the paint, move the trim, seal up everything job. But this house was built over 100 years ago. It's the original building that they've built onto. And there's this very large gap. And while we thought, man, that seems like a large gap, maybe we should dig into it a little more. And so we pulled some paneling off the walls and cut through the sheetrock and looked, and went in the attic and looked what was done. And essentially what happened is that they've moved the ceiling joists down. So the ceiling joists are the wood that holds the sheetrock up. And this house that was built in the early 1900s, it's over 100 years old. But what they did was they moved that ceiling down. And I don't know if it was for insulation. I don't know the story, but what they did was the original ceiling joists, which go from the top of the wall to the top of the wall across the building, that hold those walls from going in or out from each other, they cut those off and they moved them down. And what they did when they moved them down was they just ran nails into the wall and put that ceiling lower. And unfortunately, what that does is that ruins the structural integrity. Because in those days, they didn't have trusses. And a truss will hold everything together and hold the roof up and everything. But these are three separate pieces. The ceiling joist goes on top of the walls, and then two rafters that come up. And so if there's any weight on that roof and those ceiling joists are gone, it's going to push those walls out. And so I'm really glad that we dug into it and we didn't just cover it up. We figured out what the problem is, and we're trying to make a plan on how to move forward to get it sucked back in and put back together. But, you know, this thing's lasted a long time. So sometime in the last 100 years is when this happened. Another thing that's 100 years old, give or take, is this old axe. This axe right here, I found in a collapsed, partially collapsed barn. They said it collapsed in the 1920s. And anything I found in there I could keep. I found an old pick. I found this. Some other bits and things like that. And anyway, so this is a 4-pound Ward's Master Quality axe head. It's a great axe. But when I found this axe, it was leaning in a corner like this, stuck in the ground, this edge on the wall. And if you can see down it, it's got a pretty good warp in it. And so we're thinking 100 years, maybe it's the original handle. I know the axe head is about 100 years old, but maybe it's a new handle. But the way that it was sitting and the timeline of when that shed collapsed, I think this is the original handle. You got 100 years of weather and moisture change and dry summers or wet summers and dry summers and dry winters, and it warped that handle. Now this warp is perfect for me because I have a real tall chopping block that I chop wood out here for every night. And when this handle finally breaks, I'll replace it. But got two things that are 100 years old. One that's cool and that works really good ergonomically for me. And then we have a house that's not. And so we think about what modified this. Time, all the elements, what modified that house. Someone who didn't necessarily know what they were doing. And it made it structurally unsafe. And so while something that's good, that's been modified over time and elements, it's good for me, this house is not good for that homeowner. And so I guess my thought for tonight is that what's modifying you? What's modified you over your life that you can't remember when you were a child? We need to dig in. We need to say, why is this so different than what I think it should be? And is this a beneficial modification? Then we can either modify it or we can live with it and be happy while we got it the way we got it until I have to modify it again. So yeah, check your modifications. What's modifying you? What has modified you in the past? I think you'll find some really cool stuff, and we might find some ugly stuff like I have. Love you guys. Have a good night.